I feel like this is our podcast. This one was very serious minded.
I know it will leave you thinking. Like, do you know there are lots of branches?
Yeah.
But every day is not kiki kiki.
You don't have to laugh. We're still serious. Too.
Yeah.
We laugh.
Hello and welcome back, Divas, to another episode of the Diaspora Divas podcast. We have your regular host, Oma Wanda, Mama J, Susu, and Lady OG. Hope you've had a fabulous week so far, and I hope you sit down, get your snacks or whatever, and use this podcast to slide into the weekend.
I think it's called podcast and chill.
But you know how Netflix and chill goes.
No,
So if you put in podcast and chill,
That was a good one. That was a really good one. Podcast and chill.
yeah. But before we start, how do you guys do?
Uh, let's not talk about today and how we have to all be here to ensure that we create this episode for you guys. So please watch it and enjoy
To the end.
To
Very
the very
key.
end.
Very. Okay, today we're talking about religion, does religion matter in your marriage? And talking about interfaith marriages, interreligious marriages, the whole works. And Susu has kindly helped us to track down a story on Quora. So we'll be reading it from a segment that asks, would you convert to a different religion for a partner? Why or why not? The story goes as this. I once dated a Muslim, being Hindu myself. She said the only way things will work is if I converted, otherwise her parents will never accept me. As the relationship progressed, she ended up saying she wants to marry a Muslim. At one point, I almost considered it because I was blinded by my emotion. Her friends even told me, you should just do it because it's the truth, anyways. Then I picked up the Quran to know more about Islam, and as I read, I realized, what am I doing? Why am I changing myself? My whole way of life was someone else. None of the stuff makes sense to me, anyways. A loving God that burn you in the fires of hell if you go against his will? What kind of love is this? Along with that, were many other things I couldn't agree with, and I was astonished how different this was to my prior beliefs. I immediately realized this could never work. I wouldn't want my kids walking this path either. I understand every relationship involves compromise, but not this. This is asking for too much. If she really loved me, she wouldn't try to change me. When you love someone, you may not agree with them, but you should at least accept them for who they are. The very fact that you are trying to change someone means your love is incomplete. 5 years later, I write this message knowing that breaking up with her was the best decision of my life. Later on, I ended up finding a spiritual path that has brought me so much bliss and fulfillment. In fact, it is probably the best thing that has ever happened to me. However, if I ended up converting for my ex, I'm not so sure I would have ended up on this wonderful path I'm on now. Sometimes, when things don't go the way we want them, we feel frustrated. But then later in life, when we look back, everything makes so much sense.
Yeah, that's right. I think we can relate.
It's a very interesting story. And this one ended up with the guy having to break up the relationship with the person he was in the relationship with.
Short term pain for long term gain.
Yeah.
it's just like something that we were discussing after um before we started filming when you say um you- the honeymoon phase, like when you change for someone after the honeymoon phase elapses, your eyes now
The
are
scales fall
also
out.
yeah. And then you realize that you that changed for your partner, you shouldn't have done that because you start to see that oh, didn't think about, because you guys were all in love, you're like, where the children want to, which church will the children go to? For instance, if you marry maybe another faith based person, for example, different life and Catholic, and then you say, oh, the children can go to Catholic church now. But then again, after the child then comes, you realize that, oh, I really want my child to be practicing my own faith. So it then becomes a problem between two couples, or you know. So
I think just one of the things I think that even takes people, just say get to church. Everybody come out with your husband, everybody come out with your wife. Yeah. And that it just gets to my head. And then you look around, everybody's going. You are seeking. At that point, the whole feeling will just start coming on you. And then you go back and you're like, no, I can't continue doing this. Sometimes that's the first point of call for some people. I've sat down in church back in the day where, I saw someone feeling left out because our partner wasn't there. Sometimes the things that we do today, because we start learning from people's experiences. I saw the way she felt that day. I didn't need her to say anything to me. But it just starts with the fact that we keep saying, go, you're okay to go. You're okay to,
yeah.
It doesn't, for me, it doesn't happen. Like, I'm a Catholic, born and brought up. And I used to say, it's Catholic or no one else. Yeah, I think if you go to my friends today and tell them that I'm not in a Catholic church, they will tell you it's not possible. For me, if you're coming to have my hand in marriage, first criteria, you must be Catholic. See, MUST, you must be Catholic. Yeah. But as we grow, you see that guy is all shades of Catholic, but he's all shades of nothing else. Then you grow, you mature, you start to realize that that's not all about life.
Yeah, life is bigger than all of that.
It's bigger than all of that. And get to a point where you look at it. You weigh your options. You marry a Catholic, you don't have peace of mind. You marry a non-Catholic, you have peace of mind. And then you begin to ask yourself another question: what does it take? Because like me, when I met my husband, it was non-negotiable. It wasn't going to do that. You're not going to Catholic church and I'm going to this church. It was not negotiable. So we had to make that decision. And it's nobody's forcing each other. I had to make my decision. And for me, I didn't want to go to church because I'm married and they drag me. And let me go to that church. I particularly wanted to love it. Because that's the only way I would adjust into it. It's not going to be because it's my husband's church, I must go. So I became part of the church even before marriage. My own decision. So I went to the church, saw how it works. Their doctrine. Is this somewhere I find myself in? I had to be part of it. I did not become a worker because my husband asked me to be a worker. And guess what? I became a worker before my husband became a worker in the church. So it became my decision. So there's this intentionality that had to come into play. And I'm not going to I'll not be about follow the road. Like the road where I want for myself, And that was just what I wanted. Because what we see in reality today is that we'll figure it out. I don't believe you figured it out.
Yeah, there's nothing like figure it out. And with this guy, I appreciate the strength that it took him to walk away from that relationship. Because most times we're just blinded by what's right in front of us, and you just feel like it's either this person or no one. True. If he had that kind of mindset, he would have gone into a religion that he couldn't. When like we're Christians here. I mean, all of us are Christians here. When you serve God, you are doing it with your entire being, with all that is you, because no one forced you. You were not strong armed into Christianity. It's something that is you believe in it because you believe in it, not because anyone has forced you to. So if this guy had eventually converted to Islam, and I think if he had eventually converted to Islam, he would have really, really struggled with it because you are doing it for someone's sake. It's like asking someone to stop smoking because they want to be with you. If you don't find it in yourself, if you don't see the usefulness to stop, then it's only a matter of time.
That's the difference between the person's story and Omari's story. Omari said she did have so much intention, but he said he tried and he couldn't find his space. He couldn't find what it was how it relates to him.
Yeah.
So he didn't even want to try at all because it didn't make sense to him at all. But for Omari, she went there, she said, okay, this is something I can do. After all, yes,
I
we're
can
telling
really, really relate to
Yeah.
Omari's story because it was a similar situation with myself. But then thinking about it, it's what's important to you, right? What's really important to you. I was also raised a Catholic, and my mom, my mom, not my parents, but my mom was also in the Catholic Church as well before she passed on. And I always thought that, oh, I'll do this Catholic wedding, do the whole Catholic thing. But then when
Sorry
I,
to cut you short, it was compulsory for us. Did you get married? No. Oh, okay. But when I was getting married, it seemed like it was compulsory that I had to be Catholic.
you be firstborn, now you that they take hold, now you that they take level.
There's nowhere it's written. It's not like my husband or my in-laws were saying, no, I just said it's okay.
Yeah.
No, no, no.
Anyway, so for me, I'm like, look, he serves God. He's a Christian. That was what was important for me. So it was not about the denomination. At the end of the day, we're all serving God. As long as they go shrine. He doesn't go to shrine. He's not killing goat every 2 weeks.
No,
So
but what you said for interfaith based marriages, you're saying that as long as you serve God, all of us we all serve God.
yes,
Right?
when I say that, I could have said, "Oh yeah, we'll get married, but I'll still keep going to my Catholic church." You will, but then I also knew that I don't want to raise my children to be confused when it comes to religion.
Yeah.
When it comes to Christianity, I didn't want to create that confusion for them as well. So that was really important to me. And at the end of the day, we are serving God.
Yeah.
So let's all stick. Like, it was very important that we made that decision from the jump. It's not, imagine if we had just left it and then let's go with the flow kind of the thing. And then the kids start coming and I'm getting ready one Sunday and you just be like, no, they're coming with me today. You will just start creating unnecessary division, that could have been totally avoided from the start.
So see, if your mom has like Muslim background, Abby.
Yes, I actually feel that's where people get it wrong. Is the fact that, like, or married, technically everybody has even said it. They go into the married thing and it's like, oh no, when I get in there, I'll change it. Like, you're not looking at it from your own aspect. Now, wait, will I be the one to make this compromise? Just like the way Omari went into the whole thing. I think that is why it's actually really working for her, because most people will be like, okay, no problem now, and you be a Muslim, I'll be my Christian.
Yes,
You go to your Muslim, I mean, you go to your mosque, I would, go to my church and everything, forgetting the fact that kids are going to come down, like, kids are going to come in, eventually you're going to be raising a confused kid. Because they're like, where are we going to? Are we going to church or are we going to mosque? How are we praying in the house? What do we believe in the house and things like that? So I feel people really miss it in that angle of going into the marriage with the mindset of I will change her,
Yeah, and another thing is I noticed that the day of service is usually like a family time too.
Yeah.
I think in most families, like, whether instead of the people that will go to church on Saturday, it's family time, like after church, or we just go and hang out, eat, go to the park.
Yeah.
Once you start, a lot is happening. Everybody's going on. Daddy, I was service. Mommy, I was. For some people, could have just all done
in one go.
But are we saying that there are people that it works for actually?
There are people that it works for. But like when Tosin said, going into marriage, that notion of I will change it. That's a very dangerous notion to go into any relationship with, because
Even not even only on religion, maybe other things.
because you can't change someone. They need to make, if you change them, then it's only a matter of time. Their real self reemerges, and that change.
Or they might even resent you for it.
You said there's some people you work for. I just feel that somebody has just decided to take it up, like, I'll make the sacrifice. Okay, let me just let her be with the children. But I won't change. So that one is making it like, there's a compromise.
Will I really believe that there are some people it really works
That's
for?
what-
I
that's-
actually feel they will have their struggles that you may not see on the
Sure.
outside.
Yeah.
Because even if it's working for them, like in what sense is it working for them? You're a Muslim and a Christian.
Yeah.
And then like no one is compromising. I actually feel they will still have that thing they're struggling with.
Yes. And some
In
people will just be
between
like, for
themselves.
peace to reign, oh yeah, go to the church with the children. Now me, I will just be going to my own, whichever way, church or
But
mosque.
there are
or-
even instances too where, let's say, the guy is a Muslim, lady is a Christian, whichever way around. And the guy's like, yeah, it's fine when we get married, carry on.
Yeah.
But you get married, the guy change up for you, say
Exactly.
no.
It becomes different.
I have Friday,
I have the
we are
life-
all going to mosque.
There and then.
I have
The
a life
honeymoon
experience.
phase.
I have a life experience whereby I know that these two young people they got married, even parents are like, oh no problem, let them do their thing and la 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 la. Men, after the honeymoon phase and after giving birth to one child, my sister, the guy was the Muslim and the girl is the Christian. The first battle, I have to shave my baby's head. The girl is no. Why would you shave the baby's head?
Wow.
Because this person wants to practice his own ritual of
Yes.
his belief. You want to practice your own ritual of the belief, and like you could see so much confusion. They had to do Muslim marriage Muslim naming ceremony in the morning and Christian naming ceremony in the afternoon. So much stress, so much confusion. And even in saying that, I will not lie to you, at the end of everything, my sister, this sister wore hijab and carry and they gave her
Because it's easier. She got that easier. Say, what?
It's either make or break.
Yeah.
I've also seen people that they can't do it and the marriage is over.
Yeah.
When you meet people that can't compromise, because we didn't define it at the initial stage,
Mm.
some people would leave. There's one story my mom was saying. The lady, this one, because she's not even marrying her in her own church, she didn't go ahead with the wedding. It's the same way if that kind of person had married somebody.
Yeah.
I think she cancelled the wedding. She's still not married, but she's happier.
Yeah.
Just like
So-
the guy.
Yeah.
You can't change it.
It just falls back to what's important to you. I can't even imagine it. After, we've been dating for however long and then we're married and I'm fooled into thinking that you are happy that I'm going to church while you do your Muslim thing. And then maybe 2 Sundays after the honeymoon, on a Sunday, I'm just, I'm going to church. As you carry kids, don't step out of the house. Where do you think you're going?
That's what's unimaginable.
Telling
you.
Where do you think you're going? On Friday with Soya? Where this one? Let's go.
I know.
What do you do?
But I think that it is more bringing it back to relate to us in diaspora. I think that it's more traditionally our belief back home. For example, you're groomed as a Christian, so if you make those kind of decisions, you are seen maybe as an outcast because you have decided to marry someone from another faith. Maybe because the Bible says there is a verse in the Bible that says don't mix up our religion with the other religion. But when you come back here, I think people are more relaxed about marrying from maybe a religion that's different from theirs.
Because your parents are probably back home.
They're far away.
They only speak on the. They only speak on the phone. You do it. I get that.
Or we're not just so
You do what you
religious.
want to do and tell them sorry.
Or we're not just so religious in the diaspora because we have come here and we have acclimatized to their culture and they don't care about religion as well.
I think here, like living outside of Nigeria, I'll talk about Christianity because I'm a Christian. Christianity now depends on you because, like back home, you can clearly see all the reasons why you need to hold on tight to God. But when you come outside, it's like because all your basic needs are covered.
Yeah.
It's easy to be
Yes.
fooled into thinking what's the need? Like, like what am I praying for? Life is good.
I've had this conversation with someone.
Yeah, because you come back home, noise of gen is not breaking your head. Your brain is open. You can think. When you work, like I don't know. There's this sense of ease that comes with living outside of Nigeria. It's so easy to just disregard your faith.
But come to think of it, because like as we're just having a chat now, I just like I remembered something, and it's like fine when in diaspora, and it's easy to like lose. I wouldn't say lose faith, but like that commitment. I would say that commitment to your faith. It's very easy for you to lose it. Well, in saying that, because me, I'm very much particular, and like most of my talk is just going to be centered around kids. Raising kids, well, anyways, that would be another topic, I think. Raising kids in the diaspora, I feel, is even more challenging than back home. And we believe like it's the value, the spiritual upbringing that we put into these kids that would, help shaping our model them. Because, for example, now kids, okay, I wouldn't even talk about the Muslim. Maybe let's say different faiths or anything. And the kids don't really know where they're going. How do you invite that faith into that kid? Or else I feel like the kids will just be confused and be like, okay, I don't even believe in God, I don't even believe God exists. Or I just want to be bisexual, and where will you say, oh, the Quran has said that we should not this?
But it's true, because another thing that even confuses me is, even if your partner even says, yeah, you can go with the children, the point is that parenting is two people. So if our schedules are different. If you're not available, dad cannot fill in the gap, for example, for you, because that's your own thing. So do it yourself. Then there'll still be a gap. Just adding to what you said, there's still a gap either way, because you're just on the same thing. Just your page is for you. That page is different. So if dad has the opportunity and they see dad will teach them something different.
So I actually feel that for me, my thing is try to if you know that you're not ready to compromise, like our sister here.
Call me sister today. Sister
Like
Omar.
if you're not ready to compromise 120%.
Sorry, the word is minister.
Oh, sorry, she's not a minister.
Respect that. A
Minister
minister.
Mary.
And minister's wife.
Oh yeah, that's double title.
Can you imagine?
Like
They like say we start to do opening prayer, but we start it.
Please.
But I feel like if you're not ready to like compromise 100%, like you are making the conscious effort, not waiting for your partner to come and change. It's best for the sake of the kid, most especially because it is very, very extremely easy for the kids to just go their own way and choose their own religion. They can say it's a football I want to do. Or since our parents are confused, let's go and do. So
Anyways, it depends. I think actually it depends on our individual views on how we want to go about it in the future. Because I know people who it works for. I know people back home in Nigeria who have said, "Oh, I'm married, and children go to the mosque." Why she still goes?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. That it's a bit different. When you are raising your children back home, it's very, very, very
The
different.
difficult part is that most of us as mothers we want to nurture more the kids the more. But if she's from a different religion, I don't know how she'll be able to guide them in that religion. Like, no, can't read the Quran, or can't do this, or if she sees something, how would she explain it to them? Okay, I've seen something in the Quran that I can use to relate to talk to the kids maybe about one or two. So it becomes quite dicey, even if you agree to do it. So I'm just thinking for them. I don't know. I haven't asked anyone in total that like, oh, how does it
I would
work
say
for
it's
you?
different because in Nigeria, there is a general idea of the existence of there's a general idea and acknowledgement of the existence of God. I won't say that they are not atheists or non-believers or whatever, but generally speaking, a large population of the people who live in Nigeria acknowledge that there is God in whatever form, right? But when you are living here, the large population don't believe in the existence of God. So even if I'm Muslim and my husband is a Christian back home, it's a bit easier because when they go to school, they are relating with people, like-minded people.
and our moral standards.
Yes. When they go to different places, everyone still has that same um thought about God.
I personally, I don't know if I want to use the word that I don't think it works for them in that regard. This is me thinking that because I know that Madame will not compromise. Let me assume that I'm the man. Because I know Madame will not compromise. for peace of mind, let me just now maybe my own value of marriage is that we die here, or this marriage is forever and ever. And I've seen that there's something that will break my marriage. Because I don't want that, I'm making the sacrifice that let me leave her with the children. It's not because it's working, because if you look at it that it's not working, then this marriage will end. But because I don't want my marriage to end, I'm happy to make the sacrifice that let the children stay with mom or whatever the case
But for
is.
how long can he
So
be
some of
happy
them
with that?
live the rest of their life. That's like this marriage is quite tricky. Nobody knows what the other person is bearing. So maybe every Sunday, every day he goes to church. That is his moment of you know,
Well, is he
but
happy?
he's not happy. But he's making that sacrifice, and that's a lifelong sacrifice that he's going to be making. It's not.
But if you check, like, what's the cost? The price he's paying for that sacrifice is
Yeah.
quite high, you know?
And I'm very for someone like that, I feel it's very easy for that person to like get frustrated and just leave it because he is not doing it from his
Yes,
Yeah,
that's why I say it's
he's
not
just
really
doing it
working.
on the surface.
When he sees his kids saying certain things or doing certain things that he knows he would rather not have them do or say, like, how do you then, in those scenarios, like, what do you do? Is it your mom you go and fight?
Wait, I want to do homework. You say, Daddy, I have CRK assignment. Help me. You know, and that, for example, if that is a Muslim, how does that want to help you with your CRK assignment? That's already, I think there are certain things we need to consider. And this comes down to our decision when we are trying to get married. Love comes in the way, and we forget that love is just an ingredient in marriage. There are a lot of things that we need to factor when we get married. And because we're in love, we figure it out.
It's like when two people
I
with
think we use the
AS
word.
and SS come together.
No, let's not use the word love loosely because I see love as everything in it. But sometimes when we say love, it mostly just refers to that
That's flashback, like that butterfly in my
Yeah.
tummy kind of thing.
Where your body feels
That's where I'm coming from. It's an art. The butterfly in your tummy is an art.
Yeah, butterfly is one funny thing with marriage. You see that butterfly, it comes and goes. It's never going to stay. Like if you marry 20 years, that butterfly is not going to live there for. They would die.
Sometimes
And some of them, they will have butterfly life cycle, right? So when the butterflies are adults, they will lay eggs, right? And then they will die. The period that their egg, there's no butterfly. Two of you are just living on maybe friendship or any other thing else that becomes of your marriage.
Or guess what? For parenting.
You get
Butterflies.
there are literally times that it's as if people are just housemaids.
I think people don't really think it through. Like,
Yeah, you can't just go with the flow. And if religion is a huge thing to you, then it's something that you need to make it clear from the start. Not when you've caught all the feelings
but
and
then, for example, now you have someone that marries a guy that is Muslim and marries a Christian, and then because of the butterflies, he's saying, I swear, I will never marry another wife, I'll never marry second wife. That's like another example. What now happens if he changes his mind and then
Which is
now
bound to
decides to
happen.
marry another
It's a
wife?
contract you signed already.
yes, I'll take it like that. Because if I marry a Muslim, I wake up with the fear of having a co-wife any day.
And if not
That's
for maybe how our generation has evolved and we don't as much as people say, oh, want two wives or three wives, maybe the Gen Z, they're sticking to one partner. If not, it's something that's very rampant.
But even if you say Gen Zs are sticking to one partner, but there is
room.
there is concubine on the side, right?
Oh, that's right.
There's concubine on the side. What's the difference? There's no difference. As long as it's not only me, then we're many.
But do you actually know that there are scenarios whereby even after the whole marriage thing, I'll change him, he's not changing, and blah blah blah. Eventually, the guy would say, "Okay, no problem. Since you are not coming to my part, I'll want to go and find someone that will see."
Exactly.
That can be cooking for me. And mind you, we're really making use. This is actually like an interfaith thing, not really the Muslim Christian, but it's just like that's the like most pronounced
complete
thing.
opposite.
Yeah,
Complete
opposite
opposite
thing.
sort of thing.
There are, in the Islam thing, I think there are things whereby when they are fasting, you cannot like cook that's that sari, that morning food. You cannot cook it for them. So they eventually would want to get like,
Oh, it has to be another Muslim.
yeah, even I know of someone like this is even a family thing whereby the guy had to come and properly marry the lady in the whole, the Islamic way and everything,
Yeah.
so that she can be cooking his meal
Mm.
for him.
Wow.
Because it's like
An
an
unclean
abomination.
person.
Yeah, exactly. Cooking that meal. So like there are just scenarios whereby they would probably just say, okay, if you're unable to do this, I would have to find someone that so that this person can be, doing the obligations while you can keep doing so. In that situation, what do you do?
Wow. Take it as I take it as it is. I think people just, if you want to make this kind of decision, you just really have to think it through because it's not just going to affect you, it affects your generation to come.
Your
I know that
family,
yes, I know that we have people
family.
that I think I've even seen people that maybe their parents were like that and then they too don't have a problem with marrying either Christian or Muslim. But then again, I've seen over time how it affects them when they now really, really, really go into the marriage and have kids and then it affects their own kids as well. So, tell us.
Hey,
Tell us.
sorry. No, actually, I actually just remember this thing, and when when we're still much single, very very single though,
Yes.
not. I remember that this was one of like a criteria for me because I met this guy who he is a converted Muslim, and personally, I still had issues with that because when I looked at the background, I looked at the dad is a staunch Muslim. The Muslims, the Tablighs, the people that their trouser does not go down. That was the father. And the mother was equally a Muslim. Like the family was a Muslim, but this guy decided to convert. He had converted, not because of me or anything. He converted on his own. But I still had this issue. I'm like, wait, if the father says tomorrow, you have to go back to being this thing. Do you understand? And for me, that was a maybe not red, but it was like an amber light.
I get. Like
this is a warning.
in case there's plan B, I will. My head is not in this basket.
or like Nigerian movies, you say to have your inheritance, you have to convert back
to Muslim.
and then the inheritance might be
So like,
oh, but that's crazy. Yes, nah, that's crazy. Who wants to leave the inheritance?
So
But you see what she said, which is really, really good. She didn't. She looked beyond the guy. Sometimes babes just look at the man in isolation, forgetting that as Africans we don't marry.
You marry the family.
The entire family.
When
It's not just the man.
when we know that everything, most especially back home, we're the ones that have to compromise. We're the ones that that's
So you
why
have to check where you're entering.
it's just like similar with genotype. As I'm meeting you, there are questions I ask. That's why I said if I got to the stage where I got to, girl, if you don't tick the box of being Catholic, red flag. You know what I'm saying? There are other things I can even mark good for you even when it's bad. See, that one was number one.
I thank God for growth. I wanted to say that when you are really young,
Mr. Bada, you're lucky.
the list, when you're really young, the list is long. But as you get older, as you start to experience life in different, especially looking for husband in the dance. Not really looking for husband per se, but like because you start to experience life. How many maybe you lose people in your life, maybe people die. You just see life just moving a certain way. Your list, you start to really
of preference.
Something is a breaking point for you because I tell you the gap between when I met my husband and when I was still making a decision as at a year ago was still I turned down a suitor because it was also not Catholic.
You can imagine.
And so I'm telling you that the switch happened in a short amount of time where I could open up to say, let me meet someone that's not a Catholic.
Saying that when you meet your person, you know you've met your person.
I know.
You just know you've met your person.
So it was.
Well, that is how it is. You've met your person, but he's Muslim.
No, you're not
Oh,
my
he's
person.
Christian.
You're not my
When I say that,
I'm
first of all,
some people feel that way too.
First of all, you've checked the person
You think
in
about it.
isolation. You've checked the family as well. This is outside of the when you want to marry them. It says that your family will go and carry out and see about all of that. You've checked the family. You've checked the person on their own. You put it side by side with the list that you have, and things are matching up.
When I'm married, they always tell us if you're not just marrying the person, you're marrying their family.
Yeah.
So everything join the checklist.
It's like when I met my husband, right? I was still, will I even say, in between faiths? Because
Can you imagine?
yeah, because I was. It is a thing because I was experiencing. My mom had just passed on, so I was having crisis of faith at that point. So when I met him, yes, I want to marry someone in my a believer first of all, but then this man he literally just completes my entire existence. So when the parents are like, "Oh, but she doesn't go to our church," I'm like, "Say less." I'm baptized next Sunday.
What we do for love.
Yeah. Say less. Next Sunday. Today is Tuesday. It's fine. If you talk last Sunday.
It's easier is because it was just should I call it a faith? It was a decision
Everything
that
is still our
it is
faith.
not against the opposite of your faith.
No, that's
It
what
doesn't
I'm
still matter.
It's still the same
It's
thing.
still the same
If
thing.
he was
Yeah.
Muslim
Yeah.
and I checked and Christianity didn't matter so much to
She would
me,
have still made that decision. It's still okay. For example, I'm sorry to maybe mention it.
you don't have to mention the name, but
But there's some. Okay, fine. There's some. Okay, fine. Yeah. Typical example now is
try not to mention the name.
yeah. I'm trying to be diplomatic. I've been like trying to hide
you
on that
don't
word.
need to mention names or anything.
But like, for example, the faith that goes to church that believes in the Sabbath, theirs is on the Saturday.
Yeah.
They don't believe it's like they believe Sunday is
A day of rest.
You understand? Based on the creation story. I feel that's why I still say it's still interfaith because our doctrine, let's bring it down now to doctrine.
Yeah.
It's different. What we believe in. Some people don't believe in, maybe they don't say the word Jesus, it's Jehovah, those things still matter. If you don't align in that thing, like okay, fine, no worries. I will believe with your Jehovah and go in your line of your own belief. It's still we're still all on the
Some don't even eat meat.
Yeah.
exactly.
But they are Christians.
Some don't believe in using medication.
Yeah.
So it's still the
So
same
it's very
thing.
dicey because, for example, you now have a sick child on your hand, and your husband says take to the hospital, but the wife says no, I'm not. My child is not.
Or they say the child needs blood transfusion.
Wow.
And then you say no, that goes against my
Belief.
So I didn't know what to say.
everything.
I don't know. I can't remember where I heard it all, but there was someone that she's been trying to, have a child for, but the husband doesn't believe in idea. I don't know what that is. So it's like I'm even saying my sure way to have a child,
but I can't go for it.
I can't go for it because Bobby doesn't believe that.
It's like Catholics not believing in contraceptives as well.
Oh yes, that's true. That's true.
You go just
Yes.
They program.
Sorry, even pull out. They not just contraceptive, though. They said during our marriage class that they were telling us if you're going to pull out, it's actually a sin.
But yeah,
Oh my
I think
goodness.
there's a book in the Old Testament.
Pulling out is a sin.
There's a book in the Old Testament. Where the guy, I can't remember which book. Bible minister one.
Holy Spirit is defending.
So they're just
The guy was supposed to impregnate someone, and then he pulled out, he spilled the seed on the ground.
Oh, it's in the
And
Bible.
immediately he was struck dead. And why would you do that?
Yes. Yes.
Put it in there, make the woman born.
So maybe that's where something I get into
Something came to my head. I don't know what to think. But it's true. Somebody can just use syringe and suck that thing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, God.
You know what I'm saying?
Anyway.
Why does it get to look like it's also?
I know.
I feel it's just best to be on the same page.
Yeah.
I think like be on the same page.
Like the
before
Christians
time.
say, if you're getting married to someone, like you told us in church or something, the purpose of the life.
Align. Yes.
Your
Your
purpose
purpose
must align.
must align.
So whether you're Muslim or Christian, you want to get married, let your purpose be aligned.
Do not be
Go
on
to the
equally
same
yoked.
place.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just be on the
Because
same page.
you're not just getting married by yourself. You're going to produce offspring, and it's going to affect them. Whatever you do now will affect them in the future.
Or maybe you choose to not. You
Yeah.
choose to be child free,
Yeah.
and somehow it works. It's just you and your husband.
Or maybe
Living
for
your life.
some people feel it's work for them because they're distant marriage. So someone is abroad.
Yes.
Those are distances
Fly,
that
fly
work
out,
well.
so-
Yeah, flying, those kind of relationship, or that is a soldier. This kind of
Yeah.
people that it has worked for.
Mm.
But someone that you are living with
On a
7
day to
10
day.
I think our major audience today will be more people that are about to make the decision to get
Yeah.
married.
Hopefully, this
Yeah.
video helps you
Yeah.
with our uneducated and unqualified opinion. Solely our opinion.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it helps you in some way or the
And
other.
if you have a Muslim or you're Muslim, you marry a Christian, you're married with how do I say that? Please share your story with us and we'll share with everyone.
Not just
Tell
Muslim
us how it
Christian.
works.
Let's
for
say
us.
maybe Jehovah's Witness and Catholic.
Yeah,
Or-
Divas.
yeah.
I think share with us how it's
Yeah.
working for you so that we can share with other
Yeah.
people and they can learn from it as well. Yeah.
As much as we don't have all the qualification involved, but I think one thing here is for sure is the fact that you need to know where you are at.
Yeah.
If it doesn't go this way, am I ready to move that way? It's
Exactly.
something that you would encounter at some point.
Yes.
So make that decision
Am
that
I ready to
I
move
know
on?
that okay, I'm still Catholic, he's going to church.
Mhm.
But then we get to a point. What happens? What's my worst case scenario? How do I fix it?
Yeah.
Because this marriage, we rock it.
And even
It's a
if you happen
compromise
to be in
something.
the diaspora where we think that religion is not important, actually for us here in the diaspora, religion is very important. Especially if we want to, bring kids, and then they retain our African values. That's why I think that
Our Christian values.
yes, Christian African.
Not just African values.
But
Christian
anyway,
values.
I agree because sometimes I feel like maybe our African culture affects our religion. Oh, of course it does. I don't know if it's one of the
It does.
but yeah.
Before we round up, let me share one gist that will just blow your brain. Today, on Instagram, I saw a video of a lady. There was this young guy just right behind her. She was making the video where she said that she met this guy and now they have 2 kids, but she's just found out that this guy is her son that she had when she was 16, when she was much younger, and she just found out. When I looked at the video, the way they were watching, like you don't understand it, like your head. I'm like, what?
First of all, you know that you probably have a child around this age.
Yes, you should be on the lookout.
You should maybe not think
so-
that she would meet him anywhere again.
Okay, wait.
Even if you should just purposely avoid everybody
For
in
every
that
time I
age
meet a
range.
child that age.
You say child, person where she follow
Not the boy. And
She-
anytime I meet anybody
That
that
means
age,
she actually married. Are they married?
I don't know if they're married,
Okay, but that
they-
means she
they have
actually-
2 kids together.
Are she child
That
for
is young.
someone that is younger?
Yeah.
Either way,
That's a big one another day.
age matter.
Yes, true. Age. Anyway,
All right.
anyway, we hope you've enjoyed watching this episode, Divas.
I feel
And
like this is our podcast. This one was very serious minded.
I know it will leave you thinking. Like, do you know you
There are
got
lots of branches.
Yeah.
but every day is not kiki.
You don't have to laugh.
we're still serious.
Yeah.
We laugh.
Sometimes life just,
Yes.
when it's heavy sometimes.
Like, we're saying this and it feels like we're reflecting.
Yeah. Truly. Well, thank you for stopping by, and we hope that you picked 1 or 2 things from our opinions, from our highly unqualified opinions. You keep saying that.
Maybe
Put
unsolicited.
it unsolicited too. But still hear us.
No,
You know that you
I
have a
think-
decision to make. Yeah, I think it's good to say it because it's not as if we have any degree.
Who are we?
Any related degree.
We're just
man.
divas, we're divas.
Yeah, we just have degree in being divas.
Yeah, we're just sharing experiences.
Yeah, and hoping that somehow it helps, even if it's helpful to just one person.
Yeah,
I feel that's more than enough. So until next time, bye.
Bye.